All right, Shalom, Shalom, Yasharala. It's your brother Yaranon with the Shutter Return, located here in Chicago. And I want to start off by giving all praises to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekha Kodash. All right, double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, scattered throughout the four corners, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. And last but not least, to the Akim and the Akwathian, man, and the children, man, who subscribe, who listening in. All right. Let me make sure my sound working, man. To the Akim and the Akwathian, man. All right, come on. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on the topic of, witchcraft, man, in the so-called black community with the so-called black woman and a black man. Jake he into it. Our men be into the sorcery and the wizardry, and our women be heavy into the witchery. Some knowingly, some unknowingly. All right, and it deals with horoscopes. Okay, it deals with horoscopes. It deals with reading tarot cards. It deals with inquiring from a psychic. Okay, it deals with praying or reaching out to the ancestors or to the universe, because a lot of people do that. All right, a lot of people they disregard the Most High and they give the credit to the damn stars, and they be like, "Girl, the universe ain't say that. That ain't in the stars for you and whatnot." So sometimes our people knowingly and unknowingly dibble and dabble on the left hand side, man. So um I'm gonna prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, America, first and foremost. All right, because the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of our Lord and Savior, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. All right. So we're gonna prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, but in order to prophesy, we have to clarify things and get things clear. All right, because there seems to be a misconception and a misunderstanding on the topic. So I'm gonna play this video and then I'm gonna go into some precepts. Because this all falls back on the Jake, it's on you, but like it go back to the so-called white man, because he the one who setting it up for our people to be witches and wizards. All right. I was scrolling up and down the phone thing, man, and you see the people going live, man, on TikTok. You got women and our men. I saw mostly women. I saw one man, he had like a little metal bowl and he had a metal like some type of object, and he was rolling it around the thing and it was ringing and he was saying some crazy shit, and it was a bunch of women who was doing the tarot card thingy, man. Let me see if I got some pictures right fast. If I could show a few of the pictures, if I got them with these witches, man. All right, these are our women. These are our women mostly, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans going live doing the tarot card thing, man. All right, she doing the tarot card thing. You got another one. All right, here's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And there's another one, man. All right, and another one. So you got these witches, they heavy into it, man, and some of them don't know how serious that is. That is a capital offense. All right, that is a capital offense that you should be put to death for. All right, according to the scriptures, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we have strict rules and guidelines from the Most High not to dibble and dabble on the left-hand side with the witchery. Okay, and I'm gonna prove that through these precepts. So let's watch this video, man. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Then we're gonna watch this video, man. All right, dealing with the so-called black women into the witchcraft.
I honestly believe Jesus was one of the most toxic relationships I've ever had in the entirety of my life.
You shouldn't keep your magic in the dark. Like, this is your soul. You need to share it to the world.
Let it rain on me now. So be it. Whetstone is. I was a super Christian. I was raised in the church. I was a worship leader. I'm like singing all over the place and touring over here and crying out to God. How many times have I prayed to Jesus to show up for things that were actually needed and he didn't show up?
Melissa Whetstone grew up as a preacher's kid, but 12 years ago, she left the church. She says the community felt toxic and she didn't feel a personal connection to Jesus.
Hi, how are you? I need the frankincense and myrrh is here.
She eventually discovered Lakumi, a religion that was
And you see, she messing with the frankincense and myrrh, so like they'll get you. You would think you're doing the right thing, but no.
brought to Cuba by enslaved West Africans.
It's just a beautiful thing to be a part of. It's a beautiful community spirit. You're learning and growing with other people. So I really love it.
Black folks have left the church in higher numbers over the last decade than ever before, and younger generations are even less likely to affiliate with the church. But many young people are still seeking spirituality, and some are reviving traditions from Africa and the Caribbean through practices that connect them with their ancestors.
This is my bolada, or my altar. Few glasses of water. That's just for my specific ancestors who watch and look over me. I have liquor, and my uncle likes to make sure she's still getting it on the other side. I feed them, I talk to them, I spend time with them. Like, this is my place to be.
So can you talk about some of the differences in what you study now to what your relationship was with Christianity then? What are you getting out of Lakumi that
I
you
get
didn't
answers
find
to
in
my
the
prayers.
Christian church?
That I tell people that all the time. Like when they're like, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "Because my prayers are answered." Like that's one. When I come to my altar and I pray to my ancestors and I actually take my time to cry out, not only do I get responses, I get physical manifestations and answers.
You were born into a household where your dad was a pastor?
Yes.
How is that relationship with him now, and how did your family react?
I'm the black sheep of my family. I love my family to death. They love me, but we don't see eye to eye. They're like, "Girl, you going to hell, you gonna burn." I'm like, if I was gonna burn, I'm pretty sure we will be burning together.
Ironically, it is often because of that kind of religious conservatism that people move out.
Dr. Yvonne Chareau studies African and indigenous religions.
A lot of these religions came to the United States after the Middle Passage, after the period of slavery. Like other immigrants, they bring their cultures and their religions. But because when they come to the United States, they're often met with hostility, they tended to be secretive.
Can you talk about the role that social media has played? Because especially if we're talking about the younger generation, they might not be as dedicated to being ordained and, kind of doing all these rituals. But if I go up and down my timeline, now everybody's a witch. Everybody's burning sage.
Prior to the turn of the 20th century, they utilized the internet or whatever media was available in order to be spiritual entrepreneurs. They would sell goods and services. They would treat clients and so forth. With the coming of the digital age, and in particular social media, I really feel like younger people are grabbing onto some of the digital trends where they can sort of brand themselves as practitioners. It's a kind of identity to be a part of this. So the internet and social media has certainly helped to popularize it. But I really do feel strongly that this is something of a movement in that young Black people, they are reaching back, they are recovering that which is ancestral, but they're doing it in their own way.
Yeah. So do you want to light the candles? Should we do that? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to actually carve my sigils in the candles.
Majori is a 29-year-old fashion designer living in New York who practices witchcraft. She casts spells with a coven of other young witches.
We're making money jars. So we're adding different herbs that manifest prosperity, money, success, I feel like, Hollywood and like in the movies, they kind of like gave this idea that, magic was scary. And it's like, is this scary? It's not.
Would you consider this your religion as opposed to being Catholic?
Yes, definitely. Divination is my main form of like spiritual practice, but being Catholic too, it still like resonates and there's like some roots in there. I feel like Catholicism is extremely witchy. I mean, drinking the blood of Christ, I mean, that whole sacrament, that's a ritual. Like it is witchcraft.
Right, now that's blasphemy what she said. She said that drinking the blood of Christ or taking part in that ritual is witchcraft. Well, that's a sacred symbolic eating of the blood and of the body. Drinking the blood and eating the body of Christ, symbolizing that you're willing to take part in the tribulation that comes with preaching the gospel of Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay, when you're preaching your Hamashiach Yahushua, you might as well prepare your soul for temptation, because the world is going to hate you because it first hated Christ. So it's a ritual on the right-hand side, man. It's just symbolic ceremony, sacred, solemn ceremony, where you eat this bread and you drink this wine, okay, in remembrance of the death that Yahushua took on your behalf. All right. So, yeah, man, that's blasphemy. That's a filthy, wicked lie. She's saying that.
They just don't want to call it that. I just feel like we kind of need to get rid of that taboo mentality of like, this is something that is like evil or, harmful, because it's not at all. It's the complete opposite of that.
Do you feel like in the last 5 to 10 years or so that is happening?
Because of social media, there's a huge surge of giving a light to the divination community and like witchcraft and everything, and people are now being more vocal about their practice and being more comfortable expressing themselves and showing their craft. And I think that's very beautiful.
This is Ultra Magica, or crystals, coming out of the broom closet. So I have the majority, the punk priestess here in the flesh.
For many young spiritualists, the online community has replaced the one they might have had at church, but without the strict mandates that come with other religions.
I'm not the type of witch that likes to subscribe to rules. I just do whatever it is I please. If it doesn't fit the spell, I will improvise. It is what it is.
I feel like the rules, it's like oppressive. We need to have, the system. You have to be a certified, like, tarot reader. And so I want to, like, dismantle and get rid of that, because that's not what healership really is. You don't.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. You don't have to subscribe to these rules, because, like, who's telling you these things? Again, like, have your own independent thought. That is what divination is.
Divination.
So today we're in Southfield, Michigan for the Detroit Voodoo Festival, and dozens of spiritualists from around the country have come together. They all practice something different under the African traditional religious practices, but this is significant because 20, 30 years ago, these things were done in secret. So now they're gathering here at this hotel behind me for classes, workshops, there's vendors, and they're all just here to celebrate this new birth of spirituality.
I want to thank everybody for coming to the first annual Detroit Voodoo Festival. And first up, we have a wonderful, powerful priestess, someone who really has a working grasp of the spirit, a working grasp of the traditions, a working grasp of how to facilitate and create change in your life. So please, if you would, welcome my sister, a powerful priestess, Ms. Ifa.
Beautiful people, how are y'all? First of all, thank you.
Ifa Abeyo is Melissa's spiritual mentor in the Lakumi faith.
The Bible is the biggest spell book known to man. We just don't know how to use it.
Hey, now you see that? More blasphemy. A damn witch to say that the Bible is the biggest spell book, but we just don't know how to use it. Well, yeah, I'm using it right now, and we using it to combat and contend against these philosophies and doctrines of the so-called white man, all right? Because he's the true witch. He the one who worships Hashatan, Satan, directly on the left-hand side, all right? They drink children adrenochrome and whatnot and sacrifice children on a massive level, all right? The so-called white man, he's banking families.
Ifa Ifa was initiated into Lukumi 4 years ago, but has been practicing divination through tarot card readings since the 90s. So what was that experience like 20, 30 years ago, reading tarot cards?
But in New Orleans and stuff, they call you root people, root workers, conjure people, and things like that. So it was taboo. It wasn't as it is now. That was a no-no. You would come after church when the lights are out. You would come at night and, get your reading or whatever work you need done. But it wasn't out like now. You would go in New York in Central Park and you got a table full of everybody reading.
20, 30 years ago when you were doing tarot and things in secret, could you imagine that in 2021 you'd be at a Detroit Voodoo Festival teaching a class?
Now, I will say this. The person that started to do this and take it out on the road, a lot of spiritual people were against it. They were like, no, it's going to bring a lot of negatives. It's going to make spiritual people look horrible. But we still did it because people now have a hunger.
How do you see these traditions, these religions evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
I see that more and more people who study this are seeing the health benefits, the mental health benefits, the healing benefits of religion and spirituality. It may not be conventional. It may not be what your parents did, but it's really, this is something that I think is going to grow, and it might be more broadly accepted because it works.
Let us be sun-drenched and beaming, anointed, let it rain on me now. So be it, so it is. So it is. So it is.
All right, man. So that was it on that. All right. Yeah, let's dive right into these precepts, man. All right. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 104, and it reads, "Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way." All right. See, the thing about precepts is, and a precept is one scripture that you take, or one Bible verse that you take and you line it up with another Bible verse to get the point. All right. Reiteration. So it says, "Through thy precepts I get understanding." You're going to understand the truth about witchcraft. "Therefore I hate every false way." See, they say we speak hate speech, but we really love our people and hate the wickedness that they do. The so-called, look at the beginning of the video. Who bought the building in New York and said it's okay for you to walk in the building into the corner store and be a witch? All right. Who set this up?
I was raised in the church.
Who set this up? The so-called white man did that here in America. Said you could go to the store and just be a damn witch and worship Satan directly. All right. So let's get some more precepts, man. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 22. It say, "As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not." And they talking about the so-called white man on this verse. "As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for blameless souls." Yeah, the so-called white man don't believe in the afterlife. He doesn't believe that you're going to meet the Most High. Okay, he just thinks like you just go to blackness, or you go to sleep, or you get reincarnated as a damn kneecap or some crazy shit. All right. So this is verse 23. It says, "For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity." All right. "Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it." All right. So that devil is the so-called white man, and everybody who holds on to his ways, to his side, you do find death when you're dealing with the so-called white man and his witchery. All right. And we're going to go through the precepts to get a little bit more understanding, man, because, hey, through envy of, it say, "Nevertheless, through envy of the devil." That's back in the Garden of Eden, man. When the serpent came to Eve, the serpent was a man, and he was envious of the Adamites. Okay, Adam and his descendants, his bloodline, his family. Okay, the serpent people was envious of the chosen people, the Adamites, man. And the Adamites, their descendants went on to be the Israelites. So we dealing with God's chosen people, man. It say, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. All right. So this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 31. And I'm gonna start at verse 7. All right. Ezekiel 31 and verse 7. All right. And it reads, thus was he fair. This is concerning Adam in the garden. Thus was he fair in his greatness and the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. The cedars of the garden of the Most High could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him in his beauty. Verse 9, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him. All right. So the serpent was a group of serpent people, and the trees are people too, man. Men are known in the Bible as beasts, creatures, trees, you know, and a plethora of other things the Most High used to equate to men. All right. So he says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him. All right. They envied Adam, man, because the Most High made him to have dominion over the earth, man. You know, name the animals and to be that top tribe on the planet. All right. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, and verse 2. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. All right. Now, that fruit that the serpent gave to Eve was astrology, seeking after knowledge from the sun and the moon and the stars, or horoscopes. All right. So the Most High gave us strict commandments, man. He always reiterated and told us, learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And how do you know that there was always a law like this? Because Cain and Abel were sacrificing for their sins, making atonement for their sins, their transgressions. So obviously there was a law that the Most High had gave to the Adamites. All right. So according to this right here, Jeremiah 10 and 2, the Most High commanded us not to be dismayed at the signs of the heavens, man, the sun and the moon and the stars and the constellations, man. All right. And to further prove that, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 9. It say, when thou, let me zoom, man. All right, it says, when thou art come into the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. All right. And that's what our men and women are doing with the abortions, man. All right. You study killing and aborting your babies. All right. That's equal to making your son or daughter to pass through the fire like the heathens did. Or that use of divination. See that? I just said that. The ladies were saying that, man. They were saying that they was heavy into the divination, man. It says, or an observer of times. See, that's all of you. I see everybody. You 2/3, you people want to say who's the best relationship with, a damn Capricorn or Virgo or some crazy shit like that. So that is what you call an observer of times, man. Because you're looking for the horoscope, your daily horoscope. You want to crack open that newspaper or that app so you can look and see what the sun and the moon and the stars has to say about your life pertaining to this time period. in history. All right. It says, or an enchanter or a witch. Yeah, a lot of you witches. And that also goes into manipulation, man. When you women want to manipulate your man into doing something to be a certain type of way, that's witchery, man. A lot of you women are witches. All right. And you got a bunch of so-called Hebrew Israelite women that's witches, man, because they want to manipulate their husbands into feeling bad because things aren't going their way. Okay, when the Most High told you in Genesis 3:16 that the man gonna rule over the woman, all right, and her desire shall be towards him. Okay, whatever he desires, she should desire to make that happen for the man. So these witches then turned it around and made it seem like if you don't make the wife happy, then you're not going to have a happy life. So that's a form of witchcraft, all right, and manipulation. Verse 11. Or a charmer or a consulter with familiar spirits. Yeah, your people then want to deal with the ancestors. They want to call on the ancestors. Well, that's nothing more than a familiar spirit. Yes, it's an evil spirit off the left-hand side who knows things about your family. So when you praying to the ancestors, you really just talking to a demon or a devil that was on your dead family members and them shoulders their whole life. And they could tell you what your dead family thought and was thinking about. And when you're inquiring, you're really talking to directly to a demon spirit. All right. So it says, or a wizard. Yeah, you got all these people in America, man. Harry Potter and Wizards of Waverly Place. That's So Raven. You know, all of these shows that push out that narrative of witchery and wizardry, man. Okay, the Most High gonna kill a lot of you so-called black people. All right, and I'm gonna prove it through the scriptures, man. Bear with me. All right, it says, or a necromancer. All right, for all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord Yahweh, and because of these abominations, the Lord Yahweh thy power doeth drive them out from before thee. Yeah, man. So he's going to kill them and drive them out from before you, man. All right. Exodus chapter 28 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So really, he want us to kill y'all, man. All right. If we was living in Jerusalem in antiquity and ancient times, or you know, if we still had rulership and dominion in our own homeland where we enforce our own laws, which are the laws of God, the laws tell us to kill you, man. All right. Because you're bringing death and calamities on our nation, man. The reason why your kids are getting shot out there in Chicago is because you women are witches. All right. You niggas are wizards. Okay. Wizards and witches, man. Y'all dibbling and dabbling in the horoscopes, and you subscribing to the horoscopes, and you dealing with tarot card readings, and you're praying to the ancestors. Okay, the scriptures say the dead have no knowledge, I believe. Let me see if I can pull that up right fast. All right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 5, and it reads, for the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. All right. So the dead people don't know nothing, man. So like, what the fuck is you calling on dead people for? And then turn around and say you believe in the Bible, when the Bible tell you that dead people don't know nothing, man. You got to make it make sense. You can't just tell me anything silly, goofy, and I'm going to just believe it. Because the lady just said the Bible is the biggest spell book. We just don't know how to use it. Well, no, the devil is a lie. You are of your father, the devil, lady. Devil lady. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 5. For the living know that they shall die. Yeah, we know we gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Well, not to hopefully, like some people not gonna die. We're gonna be translated into a spiritual body, man, via the chariots, which you people call UFOs. The chariot's gonna beam us up in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. We shall be changed this corruptible body shall be like unto his incorruptible, glorious body, man. Yahweh Shai, our Lord, Hamashiach. So yeah, the 2/3 gonna die, and the people that's gonna, drink this same cup like Yahweh Shai did, we're gonna be martyred for the name of Yahweh Shai and the doctrine of Yahweh Shai. These so-called white people gonna kill a lot of us in the prison camps and whatnot coming up soon for preaching this truth. They're gonna say we a hate group, and they're gonna kill us because we won't stop preaching and breaking down their society with this truth and coming up against these strongholds. All right, so it says, for the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. All right, so like it's over with for the so-called dead people, man. All right, so where was I at, man? Yeah, let me get this, man. Deuteronomy chapter 14, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 14, and it reads, and the Lord Yahweh, this is Moses, by the way, speaking to the children of Israel. All right. And the Lord Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord Yahweh spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire. Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth upon the ground. Salakia, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldst be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord Yahweh thy power have divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. So the Most High gave the sun and the moon and the stars to the other heathen nations, man, to worship as gods. All right, that's their God, the sun god, the moon god. Okay, Sunday and Moon Day. All right, Saturn Day. All right, these are the days that the heathen nations worship their gods on, man. Because the Most High divided them unto them to worship. So who the hell are you Christian people praying for to get saved? When you pray for the so-called white man and the so-called Chinese man and the African man and the Arabic man and the East Indian man, when you pray for all of these people, they have no God or no Savior or no power, man. All right. So he commanded us, man, do not lift up your eyes and worship the sun and the moon and the stars like these heathen nations, man. All right. He gave them, they can do that. Let them do that, man. Why you think the so-called white man got the horror movie genre? All right. Because, man, he's a damn devil. Okay. He's a Satanist. Okay. Anything against the Most High, the so-called white man is going to be with it. All right. And that's why he pushes tarot card reading, praying to the ancestors. All right. He pushes all these things on the children of the Most High, man. All right. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 27. And it reads, a man or a woman, see, that go for you niggas and you nigga women. All right. A man also or a woman that have a familiar spirit. All right. So like you got somebody talking about they calling on your dead homie them or your dead granny them, and you talking to your dead granny. And she, because that's what the lady said on the video. She said, I talk to them. I give them liquor. All right. She's talking to demon spirits, man. Okay. The Most High is going to kill them. Leviticus 20 and 7. A man also or a woman that have a familiar spirit or that is a wizard shall surely be put to death. They that stone, it say, they shall stone them with stones. their blood shall be upon them. All right. So we know that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach died. We went into captivity and fell away from our heritage around 68 to 70 AD. We fled into Africa and we took on other nations' customs. Okay, we fell away from our heritage, law, statutes, and commandments. And Yahweh Shai knew that. And he paid the price so that when we go into these other lands, man, we can't stone a witch here in America, man. You'll be locked up and put on a death penalty. All right. See, the so-called white man is 100% against the Most High. The Most High tells you to kill the witches. He said, I suffer not a witch to live, man. If we was in our own homeland, we would stone you people, man. And I would probably be the one to grab the boulder and drop it on your head, man. All right. I'm the person who gonna come and drop the boulder on your head and crush the shit, man. You know, that's how I would have been. And like if I was back then regenerated, I'd probably be one of them people dropping bricks. So yeah, it say their blood shall be upon them. So that's why I'm here to give you the warning and get y'all blood off of my hands. All right. I don't care if like you skip over this. Hey, if you skip over this video, then that means by default you have just rejected the mercy and grace of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai in these last days. And by default, okay, you're asking for the Most High to destroy you with thermonuclear fire. Okay, you want to talk to the spirits, you're going to take a first-class flight on a one-way ticket on Spirit Airlines to the Lake of Fire, man. Okay, which is America, Babylon the Great, man. And that fire is going to come in the form of thermonuclear ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, man, from Russia, Libya, North Korea, China, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. Y'all thought them people who was chanting death to America for the last 30, 40 years forgot about they dead peoples now? They don't want they lick back. Now, when you niggas in Chicago kill each other over a pair of shoes or some crazy simple shit, you go get your lick back. So how much more when a so-called white man, Donald Trump, drops a bomb on Salamander, General Salamander, I believe that was his name, a year or two back when Trump blew that man up at the airport and millions of people came in the streets of Iraq and Iran to come to his funeral to grieve for him, and they were chanting death to America. And if you didn't come out to the funeral and take part, the government was coming in your house killing you if you didn't come and pay your respects to that man, General Salamander. So yeah, you Americans seem to get caught up in the magic potion of television media. All right, the media. You watch the news and you forget the matters at hand. Those people haven't forgot and they want their lick back. So the Most High is going to send thermonuclear missiles to destroy America, man, with all of those other countries, man. All right. They're going to rise up against this great whore, Babylon the Great. All right. The great whore, which sitteth upon many waters, because she has over 100 military bases on the most prominent lands on the earth. And why do you think that? All right. America only has military bases on different countries where they could benefit off of that country's resources. If there is no resources for America to benefit from, then they're not there messing with them. Okay. So yeah, man, let me get the next precept. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 31, man. Regard not them that have familiar spirits. Yeah, you talking to my dead grandmama and them. We ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Say regard not them. Okay, that have familiar spirits, because you're not talking to nobody's granny. You're talking to a demon spirit that tailed your grandmother around and caused her to go off. All right, whatever spirits on the left-hand side cause you to go off. Let me just get that. Let me prove that right fast. That spirits come down here and send people off. All right. This is the book of 1 Kings. Salakia. That's the account, but I wanted to, here you go right here. I got it. Shalaka, yeah. I wanted this one in Chronicles. This Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 21. Okay, it says, and he said, this is one of the angels in heaven of the left-hand side, man. And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord Yahweh said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. All right. So the Most High sanctioned that spirit to go down and get in the mouth of the prophet, the false prophets, and lie, so that a certain individual could go be put to death in the battlefield on the front lines. All right. They sent them off because this guy, I believe it was King Ahab, went to his prophets and they told him, like, yeah, man, go ahead, you got it. And that was a lying spirit that the Most High put in the mouths of those prophets, man. And that's right here in First Kings, man. Say, now therefore, First Kings 22 and 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord Yahweh hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and the Lord Yahweh hath spoken evil concerning thee. All right. So yeah, man, the Most High, he sanctions the spirits to come down here and send people off to do good or evil, man, because this is his movie and he do what he want to do to bring out his ultimate plan, which is to give the kingdom of heaven, which is rulership on earth, dominant rulership on earth. He wants to give that to his children, the Israelites. All right. So it says, Leviticus 19 and 31, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord Yahweh, your power. So yeah, you dealing with these evil spirits, familiar spirits, you're going to be defiled by them, man. And that defilement is ultimately going to lead to your demise. You're going to die dealing with familiar spirits and wizards and witches. Going to inquire from a witch, we're going to die. Here's the proof, biblical proof, if you believe in the Bible. 1 Samuel chapter 28 and verse 7. 1 Samuel chapter 28 and verse 7. I'm going to start at 6. And it reads, and when Saul inquired of the Lord Yahweh answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. All right, because Saul was the king of Israel, but the Most High told him to go and kill all the so-called white people you could find, man, all the Amalekites, each and every one who's in the tribe of Amalek, which is today the so-called Jewish people with the big noses, the fake Jews who run the world, run Hollywood, the Satanists. All right, the Most High told Saul to exterminate them all, but Saul didn't do it. All right, so the Most High stopped dealing with Saul because he didn't kill all of the Amalekites, man. Okay, so he wasn't dealing with Saul anymore. His spirit had departed from Saul. Verse 7, then Saul said unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit. All right, because he want to talk to his dead homie now, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that have a familiar spirit and endure. Okay, so Saul wants to hear from the Lord. Okay, and he went to go look for a witch so that he could hear from Samuel, because the Lord wasn't dealing with him. So Samuel was dead. So Saul wanted to get up with his dead homie Samuel. All right. So let's see what happens after Saul went to go inquire of that witch. All right. This is First Chronicles. It's going to tell you about the Chronicles. It says First Chronicles 10:31. So Saul died for his transgression which he committed against the Lord Yahweh, even against the word of the Lord Yahweh, which he kept not. Okay, so he kept not the word of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahweh when he commanded him, go kill all the Amalekites, old ladies, little babies, niggas in wheelchairs, kill everybody of the tribe of Amalek, the sheep, the donkeys, everything that them people own, kill them and burn everything. Okay, but he didn't do it, man. He wanted to take some shit for himself. All right, so it's and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it. All right. So not only did the Most High kill Saul for not doing his will and killing all of the Amalekites, but the Most High killed Saul because he inquired of a witch who used and dealt with familiar spirits, man. All right. So this is First Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. All right. So you men have to be careful with the women that you deal with, because like I stated earlier in the broadcast, when witchcraft is also manipulation. It's not just putting a spell. You know, the women put their blood in the spaghetti and all type of fluky shit. That's not the only form of witchcraft, man. Witchcraft is also manipulation. So you have to be sober and be vigilant, because your adversary or your opposition, your enemy, the devil, the spiritual demon Satan, goes around as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. All right. So even the devil transforms into an angel of light. So you want to be circumspect and precautious when dealing with these women, because they could be witches, man. All right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 26. This is King Solomon writing this, the wisest man in the world. And he also had 1,000 wives, 700 Israelite wives, 300 heathen concubines. Okay, and it reads, Ecclesiastes 7 and 26, and I find more bitter than death the woman. Wow. And I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. All right. So remember the song 3-Piece? He say, I want to know what's all in your mind. I want to spend all my time with you. All right. I want to know how you feeling. You know, you want to know what's in that woman's mind. Well, your mind is your heart, man. All right. Whatever you feel in your heart, that's your mind. So it says, and I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God, the Most High Power, shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. So if you a wicked man, you a sinner, the Most High gonna stick you with a manipulative witch. All right, and she's gonna control and run every aspect of your life. She's gonna dictate your pace. She's gonna tell you when and where you can't go, what you can and can't do, who you can and can't sleep with, who you can talk to and can't talk to. Okay, she's over you. The Bible says the woman cannot take authority up over the man, man. All right. So when a woman dictating your pace, you scared, you ducking your taco, she come in the house, you running. You running out the back door, the wife coming in, she finna come in yelling and hollering. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? So no, it ain't supposed to be like that, man. Like, don't let these women manipulate you, man. All right. They got a place in life. So, you know, hey, these women are witches, man. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 19. And it reads, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Yeah, I just read that in Ecclesiastes. All right. It say, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Yeah, man. So, hey, verse 20, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. So you might be a quiet, laid back man, you chillax. All right. She wants to press the issue and keep it going. All right. And she doesn't want to give you that luxury of being a man, man. She's going to manipulate you into doing what she's a Jezebel. She's going to use her, manipulative ways to get her way, man, and to seduce you, to get you to do what she wants you to do. First Esdras 4:37. Wine is wicked. The king is wicked. Women are wicked. Okay, wine is wicked. The king is wicked. Women are wicked. All the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them, and their unrighteousness also they shall perish. Yeah, man. So hey, it's a women are wicked, man. That's the Holy Bible, King James Version. First Esdras 4:37, man. All right. So you just gotta don't get me wrong. There's a plethora of righteous sisters that's going to be delivered and beamed up when Yahweh shall return. So if the shoe fits, wear it, man. But a lot of we ain't gotta. You got people who gonna work on themselves and try to better themselves, and you got people who gonna keep being witches. All right, so the Most High is going to kill those women who not trying to come up out of that unrighteousness, man. All right. Hey, so this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 13. Salakia, chapter 11 and verse 3. It say, but I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach. For if he that cometh preacheth another Yahushai, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. All right, so hey, anybody come like them witches just did? So like if anybody come like them witches just did, they coming and saying that the Bible is the biggest spell book. Well, hey, they coming with another gospel, and they got another spirit. They got familiar spirits, which are demons. All right, so the Bible says, don't deal with these people, man, if they come to you with another gospel, man, or another Yahushua. All right. Christianity within itself is witchcraft, man, a Christian church. All right, so this is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 6. And it reads, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eye, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, see, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat, and their eyes were both open. See, you witches and you wizards out there, you get the dibbling and dabbling on that left-hand side. Now your third eye is opened up unto wisdom, knowledge, and understanding off the left-hand side, man, from Satan, from those evil spirits on the left-hand side of God, man, of the Most High power. Okay, and say, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. All right. All right, so this is the book of Genesis, chapter 3. I'm gonna just breeze through verse 9. It say, and the Lord Yahweh, the Most High, called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, who told thou that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Look at him, just like Jake, he instantly snitched on his girl to the Most High. All right. And the Lord Yahweh thy power said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. See, they playing the blame game. She switched it around, snitched right on the serpent people over there. Okay. So it say, and the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. See, that's the so-called white man. He's going to be a slithery bastard. Okay, from that point on, he was a slithery, decrepit, degenerate motherfucker, man, a so-called white man. All right. Verse 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Yeah, so that's just that enmity, is that beef between the so-called white man and the so-called black man. How we'll never get along, man. The Most High put that great beef between us, and the so-called white man always hated us for no reason, man. And he wants to kill his own mother's son, even to this day. All right. So that's why you have the so-called white man putting witch shops and candle shops and shops where they got all of these tarot cards you could buy and be a witch. That's why the so-called white man is putting these things up in our communities and our neighborhoods, or he's allowing us to do so that we could be more deeper into sin, and the Most High could be farther away from our nation, so that the so-called white man could continue to rule in his wicked kingdom. But now we're going to prophesy the downfall and the death and destruction of this wicked country, this wicked kingdom, man. Just like our forefathers, man. That's Jeremiah 28:8. All right. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8, and it reads, the prophets that have been before me of old, Shalaki, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So we're going to prophesy against this wicked kingdom, America, which is Babylon, which means confusion. Because this place is confused. They talking about the Bible, but they don't even know the Bible, condemning them to the lake of fire. All right. And here it is, the book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 8. And it reads, but the fearful and unbelieving. And so, like, if you don't believe this, you fall in the category too. And the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and liars. Salakia, and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The first death was Noah's ark in the great flood. That was the first death. God, the Most High, killed everybody on earth, old ladies, babies, niggas in wheelchairs, and only spared 8 people, Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their 3 wives. So God killed everybody, okay, with the first death. And he says that the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and you murderers and you whoremongers and you sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which in the lake of fire and brimstone, which is the second death. All right. So the first death was Noah. The second death is going to be that great lake of fire, where you're going to have all of the countries in opposition to America to release their ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're going to release them on America, man, and blow this place to smithereens. All right. And you can read about that. That's what Isaiah 9 and 5. All right, it says the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. Yeah, because in ancient battles, they got swords clanking and chariots going and arrows penetrating and hidden shields. So it say, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. All right, burning and fuel of fire. What else gonna happen to him? All right, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 12, chapter 14, and verse 12. And it reads, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Yeah, all you people who've been killing the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, locking us up, benefiting off of our downfall. You so-called East Indians, you Arabs, mainly the so-called white man. It says, and the Lord and Salaki, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Okay, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right, what is he talking about, man? It's the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10, and it reads, but the day of the Lord, this is the day of the Lord Yahweh, but the day of the Lord Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which, let's see what's going to happen. When it say the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, man. All right. And those heavens that it's talking about is the rulership of the white man, man. Downtown Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., mainly Washington, D.C., because that's where they sign their laws and legislations so that the so-called white man and the other nations can benefit off of the oppression of the Israelite man, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We say so-called because you're not really black or Hispanic or Native American. All right. Black is a color. African. Africa is named after a so-called white man named Leo Scipio Africanus. Okay. America is named after Amerigo Vespucci. Black is just a color. And Puerto Rico is a port of riches. And the word Indian means savage. All right. So you're not black, Hispanic, or Native American. You're an Israelite. All right. So let me finish this off. It say, but the day of the Lord Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. All right. So that great noise, what great noise is that? Where is that fervent heat coming from that's going to burn up the works that are in the earth? All right. Let's get a visual from the movie Terminator 2, Judgment Day. All right, let's see what that's talking about in the Bible. And if there's anyone out there who's kind of one-sided or you're still on the fence, you don't kind of know which way to go, this is what's going to happen to you, man. You're going to stay on the fence until you melt. It's time to pick a side, man. Ain't no more time to kick it here in America, man. The soccer ball is flat, man. Yahweh Shai has stepped on the soccer ball here in America. Ain't shit shaking. All right. It's time for war. And we just lollygagging. And we don't even know that the purge is coming. The famine is coming. They finna unleash war. The so-called white man is about to let his horns show. The devil is about to let his horns show once again. He's going to remind you who the fuck he is, man. Like he did your great-great-grandparents, man. All right. So yeah, man. I hope this video was edifying to the hopeful elect, man. I want to say call Halam, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechak, Wadash. All right, double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, that's preaching his word and truth and sincerity scattered throughout the four corners of the world, of the planet Earth. And last but not least, man, the brothers and the sisters and the children who listening in, man. Shalom, man. DTA, Abba, man. Soon, man. Real soon.